At the heart of the Great Commission is a mandate to go and make disciples who will go and make disciples who will go and make disciples who will go and make disciples. To be a disciple of Jesus is to be a disciple maker. It's a vision for multiplication, an explosive expansion of the kingdom of God as we make much of Jesus. We want to see multiplication happen at every level across the life of Anchor. Disciples making disciples as people come to meet Jesus. Gospel communities multiplying new gospel communities as we reach new areas, and churches planting churches. If we have any hope of reaching the 4.5 million people in this city who desperately need Jesus, we have to multiply. Anchor Church began in January of 2014 with 17 people meeting in a small 2-bedroom apartment, and we've been making disciples and multiplying gospel communities ever since. Our vision is to make Jesus famous in our lives and in our city. And we do that by living in community and on mission. We are a family of missionaries here at Anchor. We have a bold vision for expansive gospel growth. The vision that you're about to hear has been birthed out of careful prayer and planning. It's a team vision, and one that we hope you will own. This is our vision for the next 5 years.
We live in a city where at best 8% of the population attend church, and in the urban core it's more like 2% attend a church, which means that there's more than 4.5 million people in the city of Sydney that desperately need Jesus. We believe Jesus has saved and sent every one of us to be missionaries in our city. The mission of making disciples is not a task for a select few. This is for all of us. We all own this. We're about building an army of missionaries, not merely an audience. Imagine what it would be like if we had a whatever it takes attitude to see people meet Jesus. Our prayerful goal for this year is to see 15 people meet Jesus. And by God's grace, over the next 5 years, we would love to see 200 new disciples of Jesus.
The fruit of making disciples is community. God doesn't just save us as individuals, but adopts us into His family. So church isn't just an event to attend on Sundays, it's a family to belong to. At Anchor Church, gospel communities are the heart of what we do as we live as a family of missionaries to our city. Currently, we have 10 gospel communities scattered across our city. Our goal this year is to see 20 gospel communities established. And in 5 years, we'd love to see 100 gospel communities here at Anchor Church. One significant step that we've taken towards this goal is hiring Arnaldo Santiago to oversee gospel communities here at Anchor Church.
We want to be a church planting church. A church that plants churches that in turn plant other churches. Our eagerness to plant churches is fueled by a desire to see the lost saved. Tim Keller says that new churches best reached unchurched people. We want to be intentional about training up and sending out teams of people to establish new works for the gospel. In 2017, we're hoping to launch an internship and residency program to identify, equip, and unleash people for God's mission. Our prayerful and stretching vision is to plant 2 churches in the next 5 years. In order to do this, we need to raise $250,000 to establish these new works. But the good news is, we've already raised $50,000. We're aiming to establish Anchor as a headquarters for future church plants to leave a long-term legacy for the gospel in this city. We all have a part to play. Maybe it's being trained as a gospel community leader. Maybe it's praying for this vision in our city. Maybe it's giving sacrificially and generously towards this cause. Maybe even it's being part of a team that is sent to go and plant a new church. There are literally hundreds of ways that you can be involved. I invite all of you to consider the following ways that you can play a significant part in this vision. Firstly, pray. Jesus says, apart from me, you can do nothing. Secondly, participate. Find a way that you can play your part. And thirdly, provide. Give sacrificially and generously to the work of seeing lives transformed by Jesus. Because in the end, this is all about making Jesus famous. It's all about His glory.